Hello everybody, today I wanted to make a video exposing some more commies. This time I needed to expose the commies at Fox News, shockingly, but let's get into this. This article is by AP News. Fox News recently hired Donna Brazile as a political commentator. Now, this lady was the chairwoman of the DNC, and this is the same lady who gave the questions to the debates early to Hillary Clinton to try to rig the debates for her, and or rig the election for her, but Donald Trump pulled through with a victory for the election because he's that much of an alpha male even after the DNC tried to cheat. So let's read a little bit and then I'll talk about this. Former Democratic National Committee Chief Donna Brazile, who was fired by CNN for tipping off the Hillary Clinton campaign about debate topics in 2016, has joined Fox News Channel as a political commentator. So I have absolutely no idea why Fox News is hiring this lady. She must have offered them quite a cheap contract. She must have been desperate for a job or something because she's not the chairwoman or the chief of the DNC anymore. Uh, so I don't know. That's just interesting, but that's a little tidbit. I'm not sure why Fox News would hire her. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this situation. So recently, Newt Gingrich was on a Fox News panel. This was like in the afternoon. Um, and he was talking about George Soros and how he's funding these district attorneys and prosecutors who are letting these communist rioters free. So I'll let you listen to this and then I'll talk about it.
Destroyed by this violence.
Yeah, it's so true. They represent everybody, right? Speaker Gingrich, I know you have a final thought for us.
Yeah, look, the number one problem in almost all these cities is George Soros elected left-wing, anti-police, pro-criminal district attorneys who refuse to keep people locked up. Just yesterday, they put somebody back on the street who's wanted for 2 different murders in New York City. You cannot solve this problem, and both Harris and Biden have talked very proudly about what they call progressive district attorneys. Progressive district attorneys are anti-police, pro-criminal, and overwhelmingly elected with George Soros's money, and they're a major cause of the violence we're seeing because they keep putting the violent criminals back on the street.
I'm not sure we need to bring George Soros into this.
I was going to say you get the last word, Speaker.
He paid for it. I mean, why can't we discuss the fact that millions of dollars he spent?
I agree with Melissa. George Soros doesn't need to be a part of this conversation.
Okay. So it's verboten.
All right, we're going
So that was a bit awkward, but what Newt Gingrich was saying is absolutely true, and I have some articles here to prove it. George Soros did fund these communist district attorneys, and I say communist half jokingly, but they are basically communists. They're letting these communists go. But George Soros, this article is by Politico. It says George Soros's quiet overhaul of the U.S. justice system. So let's read a little bit of this. The billionaire financer has channeled more than $3 million into 7 local district attorney campaigns in 6 states over the past year, a sum that exceeds the total spent on the 2016 presidential campaign by all but a handful of rival super donors. So there you go. George Soros spent $3 million in 7 local district attorney races, and that's about almost $500,000 spent per district attorney. So basically, he's just buying these people's paths right into being elected, and let's see why he's doing this. So recently, this is an article by the Oregonian, the Oregon Live. Hundreds of Portland protesters will see their criminal cases dropped as district attorney announces plan to recognize the right to speak. Well, I didn't know the recognizing the right to speak, including burning cars and police cars and burning houses down, but apparently it does. So let's see what crimes he's unwilling to prosecute, and that they're just freedom of speech. So let's read a little bit here. His prosecutors won't pursue demonstrators accused of interfering with police. Well, of course, that's They don't like police in Oregon. So, what's the next one? Disorderly conduct. Well, that's just a given. Criminal trespass. So now, if you live in Oregon, criminals can just go onto your property willy nilly, and if you call the cops on them, they get arrested. They are let out free. They can go do the same thing again, and escape or harassment if the allegations don't involve deliberate property damage. So you can harass people. It's fine. So what this does is it just emboldens uh, the criminals to keep going on and keep doing this, because if you arrest a pack of rioters, a pack of commie rioters, they're you send them all to jail. But then this guy sends them back out. The riots are going to continue. But if they held these people in jail and actually prosecuted them, the riots would end. But I think uh, the cops were deputized and given the right to arrest these people and not let them out, even with these communist district attorneys. So the federal government did give the power to those cops to keep these commies behind bars. So that's a good thing. So I think that's why the riots have stopped recently. But apparently, the commies are planning a White House siege, or they're just going to protest outside the White House for a while. Uh, in order to do what? I don't know. Maybe make a communist utopia with Bernie Sanders and uh, AOC. Uh, so that's really all I have to say about this. So George Soros, in summary, George Soros is a commie funding prosecutors to let commies free, and Fox News is covering up for him. Why? I don't know. I guess the commies have infiltrated Fox News. It used to be mainstream media's last hope, conservatives' last hope for mainstream media, but I guess that's gone too. You're gonna have to stick with YouTube and I guess stuff like Breitbart. Uh, so that's basically it. Fox News has been taken over by commies. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and that would really help me go after these commies even more. Thanks for watching.